Hello, fans, and welcome back to Hickory Motors Speedway for the second half of the Easter Bunny 150 weekend. Take care of a little business here real quick. Past Super Late Models in Heat 1. Past Super Late Models in Heat 1. You need to be staging now. Past Super Late Models in Heat 1. Past Super Late Models in Heat 1. You need to be staging now. If you're just joining us this afternoon, well, you've missed a whole day of racing already that started at 11:30 a.m. this morning, with heat races and then features for the past Super Late Models, American Canadian Tour Late Models, and the ACT mini stocks. And if you missed this morning, then you missed this if you're watching on RacingAmerica.tv, a huge wreck. If you look right behind the 50 and 15 cars there, the 21 of Joshua King had some sort of mechanical failure and fluid all over the racetrack, and you see all the cars involved here. And miraculously, out of all those cars, only a couple are not able to come back. The 21 of Joshua King is not. The 32 of Nick Jenkins is not. And then Ryan Moore in the car number 74 is not going to be able to go either. So that means we'll have two heat races here for the Easter Bunny 150 portion of this weekend's action. Cole Butcher was the winner earlier. Derek Gluchaki in the ACT late models. And who was Tucker, Michael Tucker won the ACT mini stock race as well. But we're going to do it all over again here. Two heat races for the past Super Late Models. Then we'll have our heat races for the mini stocks and then for the ACT Late Models. And then we'll go right back in to our main events. As they get these cars lined up, we're going to take a real quick break from here at Hickory Motor Speedway, pay a few bills, and we'll be back with heat race action after this.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety, providing the most advanced driver safety products to NASCAR, IndyCar, sprint cars, and sports cars drivers. From grassroots to professional racers, HMS Motorsport has over 25 years' experience outfitting drivers with the best gear on the market. Equipped with first-hand product knowledge, our experts are ready to help you select the best harness belts, seats, head restraints, helmets, and racing attire for your type of racing. HMS is even the exclusive importer for Schroed belts, Schubert helmets, and Valero base layers. Visit one of our stores in Mooresville, North Carolina, or Danvers, Massachusetts, or check us online at hmsmotorsport.com, where you can learn the details of our products and order online. Safety starts here.
It's gotta be the wildest ride in the world.
To say he started off the season in dominating fashion would be an understatement.
Racing returns to the legendary Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, April 1st and 2nd, the 49th running of the Icebreaker. See past Super Late Models hit the track on Saturday the 1st. Then on Sunday, it's one of the area's oldest modified traditions, the Icebreaker, paying $10,000 to win for the ground-pounding modified. It's the 49th annual Icebreaker at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, and you can watch it all only on Racing America.
Get up on your feet, race fans.
Can you believe it? Right now, racing, in my opinion, is as healthy as it's been in the last 15 to 20 years.
Just wanted to make that first lap.
Go!
Welcome back to Easter Bunny 150 weekend coverage here from Hickory Motor Speedway in Hickory, North Carolina, America's most famous short track. Alan Dietz here with you, Aaron Maynard to be on the call for all the ACT action. But up first, we'll have our past Super Late Model heat races, and they're getting those cars lined up on pit lane. So much packed into one day here after everything got rained out here yesterday completely. There was no on-track activity yesterday, and we started again at 11:30 this morning to make up for what got rained out yesterday and ran a complete program and took about a 15-minute break and went right back into hot laps and now heat races. As you see, heat race number 2 right now lining up on pit lane. So 2 heat races with the cars that have fallen out. We'll have 19 cars starting here in race number 2. And this will be the inside row of cars by the way that they finish. Let's take you through the starting lineup here. On the pole out of New York is the 18 of Mike Scorzelli, alongside 2-time Easter Bunny 150 winner. That's the 5 car of Ben Rowe. Back in row number 2 be the car number 25 of Sean Knight to his outside. That'll be the 88 of Brandon Barker. Back in row 3 will be the car number 60, 5-time past champion DJ Shaw. And the car number 42, Eric St. Gelais, the driver from Fort McMurray, Alberta. Had a fast car in race number 1, just didn't have luck go his way. Take you on back through the field, the 96. That is Wyatt Alexander, the car number 39. That's the runner-up of our first race today, Max Cookson, last year's track champion at Oxford Plains Speedway. And rounding out the field will be the 50 of Andy Shaw and the 25, Ontario's J.P. Yosiasa. 15 laps will make it up here in this first heat race for the past Super Late models. If you're watching at home, let your friends and family know we're back here at Hickory Motor Speedway and ready to go. Green flag is out. Good start for Ben Rowe up on the outside. He'll take the lead down into turn number 1 from Scorzelli. Brandon Barker trying to move up to the outside of Scorzelli. Ben Rowe in that 5 car. He got tangled up. I think it was the first caution of the race in race number 1 and had some damage, pulled the car into the pits. They worked on it. And he brought it back out, got a little practice in that first race, and doing pretty well, leading right now as we watch this battle back for 4th. Sean Knight right now down on the inside of the car number 42 of Kyle Reed. Reed going to pull out in front of him. Now battle back for the 6th spot. DJ Shaw trying to work up to the outside of Sean Knight. And just in front of them, as it gets tight there going into turn number 1, Max Cookson showing the strength of that car number 39. Started near the back of this heat race. He's worked his way all the way up to 4th now. In just the first 6 laps, they go back down into turn number 1. He's got a strong mount underneath him, that's for sure. As the top 5 in a breakaway right now over that battle for 6th on back. DJ Shaw, Sean Knight, there's the 96 of Wyatt Alexander. He got taken out early in race number 1, and the 50 car of Andy Shaw. Moving around Knight. Back up at the front of the field. Ben Rowe continuing to lead as the battle's for 2nd now. Mike Scorzelli hanging tough in that 18 car, but he's got Brandon Barker down to his inside. Barker going to take 2nd. That opens up the lane for Max Cookson, coming off that track championship at Oxford last year. Be his rookie season in past Super Late models, his first time here at Hickory, and he has taken to this racetrack very quickly. Looked great in the first 150 lapper today. There you see the 42 of Kyle Reed. Remember, we talked about how strong he was in race number 1, just didn't have luck on his side. It's already gone better for him than it did in the first heat race of the day when he got tangled up. And right now he rides in the top 5. Ben Rowe in that number 5 this year for his father, Mike Rowe. New look, new number for Ben Rowe. But we've seen him up front here at Hickory Motor Speedway, and no different here, at least in heat race number 1. 3 laps to go. And see if Brandon Barker or Max Cookson can get up here and wrestle this lead away from Rowe. See just how tight it is there coming out of turn number 2, back down the back straightaway. White flag in the air for Ben Rowe as he leads back into turn number 1. Brandon Barker's there. Max Cookson right up on that rear bumper. Barker got a good run out of turn number 2. Closes in on Rowe some. Here they come. Put a blanket over the top 3. Checkered flag is out. And Ben Rowe will take the win here in heat number 1. Ben Rowe, past Super Late Model heat number 1 winner. Brandon Barker will finish 2nd. Max Cookson from the rear to the front. He finishes 3rd. Mike Scorzelli, good run for him in 4th. And rounding out the top 5 will be the 42 of Kyle Reed. Heat number 2 lined up in the pit area and ready to go for the past Super Late Models. Ag Mini Stocks, they're going next. And they're lining up over in the pit area. As you see, heat number 2 headed out on track now. The 18th year coming here to Hickory Motor Speedway for the past series in the Easter Bunny. First time back in 2006, Mike Rowe taking the win in that inaugural Easter Bunny 150. Take it through the starting lineup here for heat number 2. On the pole will be Garrett Hall in the car number 94. To his outside, the new driver for the Richard Moody and Sons entry, 44 this year for East Parsonsfield, Maine, Trevor Sanborn. Back in row number 2, the defending past Super Late Model champion. That is Ryan Kuhn in the car number 72. To his outside is the 15 out of Massachusetts for Jake Johnson. Row 3, that's the car number 53 out of Nova Scotia, the winner of the first 150 lapper today, Cole Butcher. And the 15 of Mike Hopkins, he led much of that first race, didn't finish it. Hoping for better results here in race number 2. And then rounding out the field will be the 7 of Joey Dwyron, another driver in a new place this year in the Pettit Motorsports car number 7. Jeremy Davis in the 09, and rounding out the field, good to see Dennis Spencer Jr. back out. He sustained heavy damage in that big crash in the first race of the day. 15 laps make it up here at heat number 2. Green flag is out. Good start for both of the front row starters. Trevor Sanborn destroyed his primary car in the first race. This is a backup car. They brought it out just as soon as before the other race even got over with. Even before it restarted, they were backing this backup car out. Looking pretty good right now up to the outside of Garrett Hall as the first 2 rows go 2 by 2. All inching out ahead as Sanborn really had to work that steering wheel out of turn number 4. Here comes Ryan Kuhn down to his inside, trying to take second away behind them. Mike Hopkins, he's worked his way up into 4th. Still side by side for second, with Trevor Sanborn working that outside lane. Kuhn not able to get around, and then Mike Hopkins may be the most frustrated is all. He may be faster than either of these cars, but having to stay in line right now until they get it sorted out. Looks like Kuhn going to be able to move up into second. That opens up that inside lane now for Mike Hopkins, trying to take 3rd away from Sanborn. And these guys not cutting him an inch, and you wouldn't expect them to. He's going to try to get down here in front of Jake Johnson, but not going to be able to do it. Johnson occupies that space in the black 15, trying to take 4th away now. While all that's going on, Garrett Hall, the leader. There you see that battle for 4th continue. And then the first 150 lap winner of the day Cole Butcher there in the 53, trying to break his way into the top 5. And he had a dominant car really in the second half of the past Super Late Model race earlier today. Garrett Hall the leader, then the battle back for second. Ryan Kuhn in the 72. Mike Hopkins able to turn right down underneath him as they go back to turn number 1. And you see just how strong that 15 car is as he powers easily by Kuhn as Garrett Hall, the leader, comes back now with 5 laps to go. Now Jake Johnson and Cole Butcher going to try and take a spot. Remember, this improves their starting position in the main event. Whatever you get here in this heat race. And Kuhn's struggling right now. Leader's now working through some lap traffic. And Hopkins has ran Garrett Hall down in very short order. Looking for a way to get by. While that was going on, Jake Johnson able to get around Kuhn for third. Look how Hopkins is able to turn that white car number 15 down coming out of turn 4. He's doing that better than anybody out there right now in this heat race. But he's going to have to move quickly here if he wants to get the win. Here comes Garrett Hall and Mike Hopkins. White flag in the air as they lead back into turn number 1. See if Hopkins going to try and make a move and steal it away here on this final lap. He looks down on the inside. Hall keeps his attention forward as Hopkins will look to the inside, but by a half car length give the win to Garrett Hall. So Garrett Hall, the winner of heat number 2. Mike Hopkins will finish in second. Jake Johnson in third. Ryan Kuhn finishes fourth. And Cole Butcher will round out the top 5. And that has set the field for the past Super Late Models. Coming up next will be heat races for the ACT Mini Stocks for the American Canadian Tour cars. And then the ACT Late Models will hit the track. And they give you all the action for the American Canadian Tour. The voice of the series, Aaron Maynard.
Great qualifying action for the second round of racing today for the Pro All-Star Series. And now we are, as Alan said, ready to go with the Mighty Minis presented by the American and Canadian Tour. They will have a pair of heat races. Once again, using the plus-minus system. Starting position set when the cars came through technical inspection with a blind draw. And then the object is to pass as many cars as you can in your said qualifying heat race to improve your starting position for the feature event. Heat races for the Mighty Minis are going to once again to be 10 laps, and the heats for the American Canadian Tour Championship late models again will be 12 laps long. Just taking a minute here, and we got to get our pace car driver, who again was spotting for Ben Rowe on the past series, back across the racetrack and into the pace car. And we should be ready to go here momentarily with the minis. Top 7 finishers in each of the heat races for the minis will get their plus-minus handicap for the main event. Starting on the pole in heat number 1 is going to be car number 12. That's Jesse York. Alongside Jesse York will be car number 1. That's Shane Knight. Emerson Kerr, the 88, will start third. Fourth will be the winner of feature number 1 of the series, the number 16, Michael Tucker. The 7 is Matt LeBlanc. That's the 7 MI, which I would assume is for Michigan, or maybe it's Missouri, or maybe it's Missing Link. I'm not really sure. It's one of those. Nick Miller in the number 17 will roll off next on the grid. Then you got Tim McKnipe in a car number 10. He was very impressive, finishing 4th in the first feature. The 85, Mike Vians. The number 12, Massachusetts. The driver is Chris Sontag. And that will be the shotgun starting position. Once again, 10 laps, top 7 cars get their handicap. Lights are down on the pace car. Apparently the flagger is having some issues with his radio. A long day for all of us. Long day for the race cars, long days for the staff. They are 3 wide right now before the green flag has come out. This is awfully interesting. Alrighty then. Pace car pulls off. We're ready to go. Here they come, picking the pace up off the 4th corner. Green is out. Knight on the outside of the 1 grabs a lead away from York as they sail him off into the 1st corner. Knight leads it. York back to 2nd. Emerson Kerr, 88, is 3rd down low. He will slide to the inside on Jesse York in car number 12 as they work side by side off the 4th corner. Emerson Kerr up to the number 2 position on the inside. Right behind him, Michael Tucker in the number 16 trying to come with him. Michael Tucker in the 16, winner of feature number 1 earlier today. Now up into the number 3 spot. Back to 4th. Goes York Knight to the inside in car number 10. The 10 millimeter. Knipe in car number 10 around the bottom. Oh, problems over in turn 2 for Nick Miller in the 17. He shortens it out. Will stay green. Three laps complete for the number 1, who is driving away at the front. Shane Knight, the leader, into car number 1. Pulling away from the winner of feature number 1, Michael Tucker in the 16. Side-by-side battle right now between the 10 of Tim Knipe on the inside, and on the outside, Emerson Kerr. Kerr slides back on the outside. Jesse York, the pole sitter, rides in next. Then it's Matt LeBlanc in the number 7. Mike Beans in the 85. Working the outside of Matt LeBlanc. As Shane Knight in the number 1 continues to lead. 4 laps to go this time. Michael Tucker trying to track down the race leader. Very prominent in feature number 1, and he is closing. Three laps to go for the 1 car, and here comes Michael Tucker. Two to go. 2 laps to go to the inside. Here comes Tucker in the 16. Tucker, the new leader, off of turn 2. White flag ready to fly one more time around. 1 lap to go for Michael Tucker. Shane Knight in car number 1. The number 10, Tim Knight. Checkered flag set to fly as they come off of the 4th corner. It'll be Michael Tucker, your winner. Tucker wins it in the 16. The number 1 comes home in the number 2 position after leading the majority of that heat race. That is Sean Knight. Tim Knight in the 10, Emerson Kerr. Jesse York, 85, Mike Beans. Getting the flag man a new headset and radio. Heat number 2 ready to roll out on the speedway behind the American Canadian Tour Ford Fusion pace car. Starting on the pole, number 33 is Aaron Aiken. Cameron Sontag will start second at count number 13. Of the 41 is Robert Williams. Second place finisher in feature number 1 is going to start from 4th, AJ Sanders. Chuck Wall, the third place finisher in feature number 1. The number 09, that's Randy Knight. The 18, Jake Rium. Kevin Willey in the 7. And the number 26, Aiden Gothier, will round out the running order in heat number 2 for the American Canadian Tour Mighty Mini. Once again, 10 laps, top 7 get their plus-minus values. So the first 14 cars starting in the main event will be the top 7 finishers. The driver who passes the most amount of cars in this heat race and finishes in 7th or better will start at the pole. To put it in very layman's terms, that's how it works. Aaron Aiken on the inside, Cameron Sontag on the outside. Robert Williams and the 41, who I guess goes by Bobo, or maybe Bobo. It was texted to me, so it's not real clear. But he's a regular at the Hudson Speedway. AJ Sanders will be on his outside on the restart. Chuck Wall and that number 18. We got 2 18s, both in the same heat race. The black 18 is Chuck Wall. Jake Rium's the white 18. Here they come in a 4. Greener's out. Aaron Aiken in the 33 on the inside leads them, but not for long on the outs. Whoa, we got one spun. Jake Rium spins by, keeps going, and will stay green. Cameron Sontag in the 13 leads the first one. But here comes AJ Sanders in the 24. Sanders now the leader. Sontag in the 13 rides in second. Aaron Aiken in the 33, and here comes Chuck Wall on the outside. Chuck Wall beginning to move forward in the high groove. Wall now up to third. Sanders continues to lead in the 24. Cameron Sontag in count number 13 trying to hang on to pit road. Kevin Willey has brought the 7 to the pits. Chuck Wall down the back straightaway on the inside, grabs a runner-up spot away. Sontag in the 13's got all the ponies in the right direction under that Mustang. AJ Sanders continuing to pull away. Halfway home. Halfway for AJ Sanders. Chuck Wall in the 18. Rides in second. Cameron Sontag in the 13. Then Aiken in the 33. Williams in the 41. Knipe in the 09. Seven laps have been completed. AJ Sanders is pulling away. 2 to go this time for AJ Sanders. Sanders continues to lead. Great battle right now is going on for third, as the white flag is out. Battle for third. Aaron Aiken on the inside. Bobo Williams on the outside of the 41. A little bit of smoke showing off the 41 that time in the third one as the white flag's out. Checkered flag is ready to fly. Sanders wins it in the number 24. Chuck Wall in count number 18 comes home in second. Third place goes to Cameron Sontag. Fourth place goes to Aaron Aiken. Bobo Williams in the 41. Or maybe it's Bobo. Thinking it's Bobo. B-O-B-O would be Bobo. Yeah, Bobo Williams in the 41. The 09, Randy Knipe, comes home in the next position. Aiden Gothier. And we are ready to go right into heat race action for the American Canadian Tour Championship late models as soon as we get a crossover here, letting the spotters from the American Canadian Tour cars cross across the racetrack. They again will go 12 laps for their heat races. Again, they'll use the plus-minus system as they do at every American Canadian Tour race. The only caveat during the regular season is if you win a race during the regular season, you can no longer start better than 10th for the rest of the year. However, Derek Luchacki does not have to worry about that because this weekend's non-point counting events do not carry that same penalty or influence that penalty into the rest of the season. The last one of the crossover people is done, and we're ready to go. Rolling out is Heat 1 for the American Canadian Tour, 12 laps. On the pole, representing the province of Quebec, car number 42 is Eric Saint-Gelais. Starting to his outside, car number 00 from Candia, New Hampshire. Unfortunately for him, the best he can do is a +1. He's going to have to start deep in the field again. Jimmy Renfrew Jr. in the 00, who came all the way from the back without as much as a tire mark in the first feature. Starting in position number 3, car number 0 is Quinny Welch outside. 86 is Marcel Gravel, torn up in the first one, but back together and ready to ramble. The number 30, Jacob Rowdy Burns, and outside him will be Patrick LaPerle and car number 191. TC3, Tom Carey, the third of the 5. And shotgun on the field, car number 1 is Austin Erickson out of Massachusetts. Six cars will advance to the plus-minus pool. Everybody else will go to the tail of the main event. Eric Saint-Gelais in car number 42 on the inside. Jimmy Renfrew on the outside in the 00. Kind of like the plus-minus in hockey. If you're wondering how the plus-minus works, if you pass a car, you get a +1. If you get passed by a car, you get a -1, but it's only when the finishing order. Like if you pass back and forth like 4 times during the race, you don't get like a +15 because you passed the guy 15 times. It's improved positions from your starting position. So if you finish in the same spot, you get a neutral 0. If you pick up a spot, you get a +1. If you lose 2 spots, you get a -2. Green flag is out. Jimmy Renfrew Jr. on the outside with a race lead. Has it down the backstretch. Saint-Gelais and car number 42 back to second. Marcel Gravel on the outside of the 86 trying to find the traction to get around Quinny Welch to the 0. Welch on the inside in the 0. On the outside, it's the 86, Gravel. Gravel gets the advantage through turns 1 and 2. Now comes Patrick LaPerle in the 91 on the outside again. 6 cars advance to the plus-minus handicap. 6 cars will move on. Final qualifier right now is Tom Carey the third and car number 5. He and Rowdy Burns are side by side for the spot. Whichever driver in that battle is ahead is the final car, which will start inside of the top 18. Carey and car number 5 dispatches the 30 of Rowdy Burns that time, so now he's got sole possession of the final spot with 3 laps complete. Renfrew in the 00. Eric Saint-Gelais in the 42. Marcel Gravel 86 and LaPerle in the 91. LaPerle, 91, up to the 4th position. As Gravel looks low right now for the runner-up spot in the 86. Gravel muscling his way in on the yellow line, looking for the number 2 spot. Marcel Gravel getting a little bit aggressive in the 86, gets himself the runner-up spot. Here comes LaPerle with him up the second corner. LaPerle. And now Welch lining up in the low lane as Eric Saint-Gelais slides back. Halfway home, 6 laps complete, 6 laps to go. Out front for Jimmy Renfrew. Marcel Gravel, 86, 91, LaPerle. It's Eric Saint-Gelais and car number 42 who is sliding back. On the inside lane for a qualified spot comes Austin Erickson in the 1. Austin Erickson and car number 1 around the inside lane grabs the final transfer spot away from Eric Saint-Gelais. Gillet and Burns now on the outside looking in, making contact with each other. 4 laps to go in heat number 1 for the American Canadian Tour Championship late models. The Ford Mustang and Jimmy Renfrew Jr. paces the field. Marcel Gravel, Patrick LaPearl, the 0 of Quinny Welch, Tom Carey the 3rd, and the 5 Massachusetts, and the 1 of Austin Erickson, the final qualifier. Popsicle sticks are up in the air. We've got 2 to go for Jimmy Renfrew. 2 to go for Renfrew in the 00. Gravel in 86 with a couple of car lengths in hand over LaPearl, trying to track down Renfrew, but like sands through an hourglass, he's running out of time. White flag is in the air. We've got 1 to go. Erickson to the 1, trying to hang on to the final spot. He's getting the pressure now from Rowdy Burns and car number 30. Keep an eye on the battle for the final transfer spot. Quinny Welch looking low, or looking to the outside as here comes Carey down low for 4th. Checkered flag is out. It's going to be Renfrew your winner. Renfrew wins it. Gravel gets 2nd. LaPearl is 3rd. 4th goes to the 0 of Quinny Welch. Tom Carey the 3rd and car number 5. And how about Austin Erickson at car number 1? Taking down to the final transfer spot, holding off Rowdy Burns at car number 30 and Eric St. Gelais in car 42. Heat 2 rolling out of this pit area. The back straightaway on the pole. Feature 1 winner. Hey, we're going to pick up right where Feature 1 left off here with heat number 2. On the pole, the 03, Derek Luchacki. On the outside, the 04 of DJ Shaw. Starting 3rd on the grid, Nick Johnson at car number 6. Outside will be Jake Johnson in the 91. Well, it's the Johnson boys in row number 2. Christian Laflamme in car number 10 and Jordan Hadley in car 37. JP Bergeron, top 5 finisher in the first feature. And outside him at car number 5, that is Dominic Curran out of the state of Maine. And on the rear, Radical Ricky Bly in car number 28. Jason Lemoy shows the field, the clinch green flag. The lights go down on the pace car. Heat number 2 ready to commence. Next time around, they'll see the green flag, provided they come down together. Luchacki and Shaw. Let's see how battle takes in round 2. DJ Shaw looked like he had that one in hand before the break for the funeral. And after the re-rack, Derek Luchacki was ready. Here they come down to the stripe. Green is out. Side by side, wheeling through the first corner with the lead on the outside. It's DJ Smith. Shaw, rather. Yeah, I don't know. DJ Shaw on the outside with the lead. Derek Luchacki, though, fights back on the inside. Side by side battle for the top spot. The Johnson boys swap lanes. Now it's Nick up to the outside with Jake pinned to the bottom in the 91. Shaw and Luchacki leaning on each other here to complete lap number 2 across the stripe. It was Shaw with the lead. Luchacki, the 03, back to the number 2 spot. Nick Johnson is in 3rd. 4th is Jake Johnson. 5th, the Christian Laflamme. JP Bergeron at car number 18 occupying the final transfer spot. Jordan Hadley, 37, challenging to the outside, looking to take that 6th spot away from him. It's Bergeron working the bottom of the racetrack. He's got 6th down low. Hadley trying to come back on the outside of the Ford. Could not do it. Bobbles off turn. Ford gives up ground on the high side. DJ Shaw on the 04 once again pulling away with a race lead, much like the way race number 1 was going. He shows the way here with a 5 complete and 7 to go. 04, DJ Shaw. 03, Derek Luchacki, Nick Johnson, Jake Johnson, JP Bergeron, and on the outside, Christian Laflamme fading back. Christian Laflamme in car number 10 now on the hot seat, the final qualifier. Top 6 cars advance to the plus-minus pool. Everybody else goes to the tail end of the feature. Shaw in the 04, the leader. Luchacki is 2nd. Third to Johnson. Fourth to Johnson. Fifth to Bergeron. Battle is for sixth. LaFlamme in the 10. Current in the 5. And Hadley in the 37. 3 cars running together with Ricky Bly right behind him as well. 4-car battle for one position. And right now, Christian LaFlamme is hanging on to the final spot in the plus-minus pool. Nick Johnson in car number 6 had a handful of race car that time as he wheeled through the bottom side of turns 1 and 2. Jake Johnson loaded up, trying to go after him with 2 to go now. 2 laps to go, and here comes Dominic Currick to the bottom in car 5. He wants the final transfer spot. Christian LaFlamme in car number 10 slips back outside of the top 6. White flag ready to fly one more time around. Final time down the back straightaway for DJ Shaw, the defending American Canadian Tour champion. He'll come off the 4th corner to the checkered flag. DJ Shaw, your winner. Derek Luchacki comes home with the number 2 spot. 3rd goes to Nick Johnson. Jake Johnson comes home in 4th. 5th goes to JP Bergeron. And Dominic Currick takes down the final spot. He'll be the final car into the pool of 18 drivers. That'll start in the first 18 spots. LaFlamme, Ricky Bly, Jordan Hadley are going to have to start from the back of the main event, and we've got one more heat to go in round 1 qualifying before the Pro All-Stars Super Late Models come out for their Easter Bunny 150. On the pole, car number 66, it's the Busca Movers Ford Mustang. The driver, Jason Corliss from Barrie, Vermont outside. Lancaster, New Hampshire's Jamie Swallow Jr. in car number 4. From St. Johnsbury, Vermont, it is a Creative Counters, car number 45 for Casey Beatty. And outside the Sunrun 55, it's Keegan Lampson out of Barrie. Andrew Moeller and car number 31 of the Southern New England Modified standout. Outside him, car number 73, it's Cole Littlewood. Shotgun on the field. And this could go a long way for starting on the pole, coming from dead last in his qualifying heat race, car number 15, Mike Hopkins. Hopkins in car number 15 knows the way the plus-minus system works. Past a bunch of cars, start towards the front. Well, he started absolutely dead last in his qualifier. There is not a person that can pass more cars in the heat race than he can. And if he finishes in the top 6, he's guaranteed to have at least a +1. Pace car peels off, 12 laps, 6 cars advance, down to the stripe, green is out. Jamie Swallow Jr. on the outside of car number 4 has the lead down the back straightaway. Corliss slides back on the inside lane in the number 2 position. Keegan Lampson couldn't get anything rolling on the outside. Casey Beatty hangs on to 3rd. Lampson in the 55 on the outside, trying to hold off the 31 of Andrew Moeller, who works the bottom of the racetrack for the 4th position. He puts the fender ahead into turn 3 with 4th. Jamie Swallow Jr., the leader in car 4. Jason Corliss is 2nd in the 66. Casey Beatty on the bottom, looking for the runner-up spot down low. Casey Beatty in the 45 scored his first career late model win last summer at White Mountain Motorsports Park. Looking for one down south of the Mason-Dixon line. He's working the inside lane on Corliss for 2nd. Jamie Swallow Jr. in car number 4 is the leader. 45, Casey Beatty on the inside for 2nd. Jason Corliss holds him off in the 66. On the march from the back of the pack, Mike Hopkins in the 15. Hopkins has gotten by Littlewood in the 73, the 55, Keegan Lampson, and now put Andrew Moeller on the list of cars that Mike Hopkins has surpassed here in heat number 3. Hopkins in the 15 from 7th now is up to 4th. That's +3 for the 15 car. Casey Beatty rolls himself to 2nd. Corliss dives down to the bottom of the racetrack. And here comes Hopkins in the 15 cars. We're halfway home, 6 complete, 6 to go. Out front, it's the Jamie Swallow Jr. show, but the man on the move and the man to watch right now, Mike Hopkins in car 15. Hopkins trying to work the outside lane around the 66 of Jason Corliss, the 3-time Thunder Road Track champion. At the front of the pack, Swallow leads. Beatty rides in second. Hopkins is on the move on the outside, looking now for the number 3 position with 4 to go. Hopkins in the 15 from deep in the field from 7th. Now up to 3rd. That's a +4. No one has passed more cars in a qualifying heat race today than Mike Hopkins has in the 15 car. And he may not be done yet with 3 laps to go. 2 to go this time off of 4 for Jamie Swallow Jr. and car number 4. Casey Beatty in the 45 and Mike Hopkins closing in on the 15. Hopkins in the 15 would love to run the table, but he is going to run out of time as the white flag is set to fly this time for Swallow and cars here in car number 4. Beatty in the 45, Hopkins 15. 66 Corliss, 31 Andrew Bowler. Checkered flag ready to fly this time off the 4th corner. Jamie Swallow Jr. your winner. Casey Beatty is second. 3rd goes to Mike Hopkins from dead last. Jason Corliss in the 66. Andrew Moeller in the 31. And Keegan Lampson in the 55. Your cars that qualify through round 1 of qualifying. So that completes qualifying for today. We only got main events left. We have roughly 150, 125. That's 275 laps plus 50. We got 325 laps left, Alan. We're almost there, buddy.
Yes, indeed, Aaron, and I'm glad you did the math there, so I did not have to. Again, we welcome you out to Hickory Motor Speedway, and those of you watching here on Racing America, I'm Alan Dietz, glad to be here with you, and we know that the temperatures will be cool tonight, so we are going to move along as the past Super Late models are lined up down in the pit area. Fans, if you'll please rise now and remove your caps as we will have our invocation and our national anthems. Please join me now as we pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and all the many blessings we have. Thank you for this sunshine that you've given us today, and I ask, Lord, that you will be with all these competitors, keep them safe. Thank you for keeping them safe earlier. Please be with their pit crew members, and please be with each and every one of them and us as we make our trips home. Lord, we ask that you'll be with our country. Please be with our military. And I ask, Lord, that you please forgive us of our sins and our shortcomings. In Jesus' name, amen. Please remain standing now as we honor our friends from the north with the Canadian National Anthem. Now please remain standing for the United States National Anthem. Thank you, race fans, and it is time to go racing again here at Hickory Motor Speedway for the second half of our Easter Bunny 150 weekend. Again, I'm Alan Dietz, glad to be here with you. These fast super late models are about ready to fire, and they will roll out onto the speedway as we get ready for our second half of racing here this afternoon. You're new to Hickory Motor Speedway. This track opened back in 1951 as a dirt track, paved in 1967, and it's been paved ever since. Measures 3/8 of a mile. The turns 1 and 2 banked at 14 degrees, turns 3 and 4 banked at 12 degrees, and the front and back straightaways are banked at 8 degrees. A couple of former Easter Bunny 150 winners in the field. Ben Rowe, he'll be starting on the pole, and the 60 of DJ Shaw, and also now a former Hickory Motor Speedway winner here, albeit not the race classified as the Easter Bunny 150, the 53 of Cole Butcher, who won our action here earlier today. Don't forget, if you're watching on Racing America or you're here at Hickory Motor Speedway, to tune in. All subscribers, you'll be able to watch the Rattler 250 tomorrow afternoon from South Alabama Speedway, just outside Opp, Alabama. The SRL National Series racing for $25,000 to win. That'll be tomorrow afternoon for Racing America subscribers. Field going to go around, get some heat in these tires. Hoosier Bi-Supply tires on all of these past super late models. 10-inch Hoosiers. The American Canadian Tour cars race on 8-inch Hoosiers. On the pole will be the car number 5, two-time Easter Bunny 150 winner, Ben Rowe. Alongside him be the car number 94 of Garrett Hall. Back in row number 2, that'll be the 88 of Brandon Barker. And the car number 15, former past national champion Mike Hopkins. Back in row 3, the defending track champion at Oxford Plains Speedway, Max Cookson in the 39, and the 15 of Jake Johnson. Row 4 will be the 18 of Michael Scorzelli and last year's past super late model champion, 72 of Ryan Kuhn. Cole Butcher back there in the 10th starting position in the car number 53. DJ Shaw starting 11th. Trevor Sanborn in 12th. A couple of other notables. Joey Dwyron starting back in 14th. Okay, Hickory Motor Speedway, we want you on your feet. Stand up. Wave your hats. Wave your hands. Wave your babies. Wave what won't ever get you in trouble and thrown out of the racetrack. Let these past super late model drivers see you, and they're going to wave back at you. They appreciate you being here with us again for an Easter Bunny weekend here at Hickory Motor Speedway. Rules same as the first. 150 green flag laps. Caution laps won't count. All starts and restarts double file. There is no choose rule. Odd position cars will always start on the inside, even position cars on the outside. There is a lucky dog rule. Free pass for the first car 1 lap down, and they'll be able to get their laps back. And perhaps the most important rule is the flagman always controls the starts and restarts of the races. Not the drivers on the front row. They only go whenever the flagman starts the race. And there's a car right now with a problem back at the back of the field, Dennis Spencer Jr. I'm not sure if he's putting fluid down on the racetrack, but a lot of smoke from that car number 12 who was involved in that big accident earlier this afternoon. Might be some tire smoke, as it looks like it subsided a little bit here. 22 started the day, 19 will start this race. Again, a big crash in the first race of the afternoon. You didn't see it, go back and watch here on RacingAmerica.tv. Ben Rowe, Garrett Hall, going to lead the field around for the traditional slow pass start as they'll come right to the start-finish line. Green flag is out, and we are underway once again with the Easter Bunny 150 here at Hickory Motor Speedway. Filled by quickly into turn number 1. Garrett Hall, he's got the good run up on the outside. He'll clear Rowe down the back straightaway. Ben Rowe, he did not finish race number 1 either, as Dennis Spencer continues to struggle, trying to get that 12 car in. Looks like he will. Mike Hopkins, he's moved up into second. Jake Johnson in third. As we said, Ben Rowe, he got involved in an accident early in the first 150 lapper today. They went in, made repairs, lost a lot of laps, so it went out, got some test laps. And he'd like to just finish this one out in his dad, Mike Rowe's car. Look a little bit further back in the field. The driver that replaced him in the Richard Moody and Sons entry, that's the 44 of Trevor Sanborn. And there you see Dennis Spencer Jr. with the 12 car back in the pits, a flat right front tire. And you got to think some of that damage from earlier probably created that, as we've got to change up at the front of the field. Mike Hopkins not wasting any time. He'll get around Garrett Hall. And remember, he led much of the first 2/3 of the first race this afternoon. Then he and eventual winner Cole Butcher made some contact on the back straightaway. He ended up spinning, and he was not able to finish race number 1. Back to that battle we were watching. This is the battle back for not Trevor Sanborn in the 44 on the outside and the 18 of Michael Scorzelli on the inside. If you watched earlier, you may say, how in the world is Trevor Sanborn back out there? Well, he did destroy his car in that first race. They had a backup car. They quickly rolled that backup car out as soon as they could. They've been working on it ever since to get Trevor Sanborn back out after that big accident earlier today. Joey Dwyer in the 7 car. He was strong in race number 1. Now trying to break into the top 10 here. He goes down on the inside of Scorzelli. That also opens up the inside lane for the 42 of Kyle Reed, winner of the award for the longest trip here, making the cross-continent trek from Alberta to race here this weekend in that 42 car. DJ Shaw in the 60, as good as his American Canadian Tour late model has been, this car number 60 in the past Super Late models has been the total opposite. They have just not been able to get it together. As we watch a battle right now back for the 3rd spot, Brandon Barker in the car number 88 had a look down on the inside of Jake Johnson. Of course, if you're not a Racing America subscriber, we hope you'll do so today. Of course, we carry the Pass and Act races throughout the year with just a few exceptions, including the Icebreaker coming up and the Northeast Classic at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Both those races coming up in April here on RacingAmerica.tv. There's Cole Butcher, the winner of race number 1. He's back in 7th, back behind the 5 car of Ben Rowe. And I would say that Cole Butcher right now is just biding his time. He really turned that car loose in the final 40 laps of the first race today. And he was very fast, so I'm sure he's going to save what he can here till the end. But right now, continue to watch a great battle for 3rd between former Snowflake 100 winner Jake Johnson and the 88 of Brandon Barker. Had a great year last year, got a win last year. Finished 2nd at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Very excited to go back there in about a month or so. And he ran great here last year, challenging up front in both races. He's been good all day here today as well. Right now trying to get up there and wrestle that 3rd spot away from the black 15 of Jake Johnson. Good run out of turn number 2 for Barker. Pushes up just a little bit. That's the thing, when you get underneath somebody here at Hickory Motor Speedway, it's really hard if you don't complete that pass before you get to the exit of the corner to pull it off, because that car on the outside will cause you to bind it up down on the bottom. And that's what we saw right there. Max Cookson in the 39, the runner-up in race number 1 today. He's back there in 4th, a rookie this year in past Super Late Model competition. Coming off a championship year at Oxford Plains last year, ran great in the Oxford 250. And I think right off the bat, he's going to be a threat for the championship this year in that car number 39. Lower right of the screen, that's the battle back for 8th and 9th. Ryan Kuhn in the 72 car, the 44 of Trevor Sanborn. Best battle continues to be here for 3rd, though. Barker again will get a run down on the inside of Jake Johnson. And see if Barker can arc this corner to where he can get the run he needs on Johnson. Got a pretty good run that time out of turn number 2. This is where Johnson's been able to battle back, and you see Barker hitting that gas, trying to get that car to turn. And again, it washes up. He and Johnson make slight contact. And Brandon Barker is ready to get around that 15 of Johnson. Oh, they make really hard contact that time in turn 4, relatively speaking to what we've seen. And I think Barker right now losing some patience here with Jake Johnson. This is where it's gotten tight the last couple of laps. Not quite as much this time. And Max Cookson just wants these guys to get it figured out. Trying to figure out the way to go. Jake Johnson really making that outside lane work though through turns 3 and 4. And that really used to be the preferred lane here at Hickory Motor Speedway. But as more and more cars have figured out how good that outside lane was over the years, it doesn't have nearly as much grip as it used to when Andy Loden used to dominate here in late model stocks and even past super late models. Right now, I think Brandon Barker might be thinking about trying to position Jake Johnson down there on the bottom. Now he's forced to run up high because Cookson's going to look to his inside. Again, just like what we saw with Brandon Barker, Cookson has to get back in line. Barker a little bit loose that time in the 88 car in turn 2. As the leader, Mike Hopkins, now entering some lap traffic. And Garrett Hall starting to close back in a little bit here on Mike Hopkins. He's between Hopkins there in that battle that we're watching for 3rd on the lower right of the screen. Hopkins going to put a lap on Jeremy Davis as the battle for 3rd continues. Brandon Barker's going to want to get those tires on that apron down in turns 1 and 2. He's not able to turn it down quite as low as we've seen some cars over turns 1 and 2. And an apron not nearly as prominent in turns 3 and 4 as it is over in 1 and 2. You'll see as they go down into turn 1 and 2 that concrete down on the bottom. And we see cars try to get those left side tires down there really when they're handling well and get a good turn off. This is the best run Barker's had so far on Jake Johnson. They rub all the way down the front straightaway. Barker a little bit loose that time over in turn 2, but enough traction that he's able to stay alongside Johnson. As you saw while that's going along, Cole Butcher's been able to get around Bend Road and take 5th. Barker finally able to clear Jake Johnson here. Here comes Cookson down the inside. He's going to make quick work of Johnson. And just like that, that drops Jake Johnson back into 5th. Just in front of Cole Butcher, who won the first 150 lapper today. And these cars battling amongst themselves and lap traffic. They've got the lap car of Jeremy Davis there in the middle of this group of lead lap cars. Johnson back down on the inside now of Davis, trying to work around him. Johnson right now trying to hold off Cole Butcher. Just like that, 40 laps in here to the Easter Bunny 150. Johnson, a little bit loose that time out of turn 2. That shows you just how good that 53 car Cole Butchers is. They would have turned down low, power it up, and he should be able to clear Johnson as they work around the lap machine of Sean Knight. Now there's the battle for third, and it's about to be a battle for second. As you see Garrett Hall there in the 94 car just in front of Brandon Barker and Max Cookson here. Hall has lost some ground to the leader, Mike Hopkins. He's pulled out over a straightaway advantage right now here in the early going. Race for third, Brandon Barker. He slipped out of the racetrack that time out of turn number 4. Max Cookson tries to turn it down low, but Barker able to protect that spot coming out of turn number 2, at least for now. And just like what we saw with Cole Butcher, it looks like Cookson able to turn that car right down off the corner out of turn number 2. Maintain here in turn 4, and he should be able to clear Barker now back through turns 1 and 2, and he does. Mike Hopkins, he has opened up a nearly 4-second lead over the 94 Garrett Hall. You see him just in front of Max Cookson, and that is a very big advantage right now on a racetrack this size. Cole Butcher's also caught that battle. I think you're definitely seeing, at least at this point, Mike Hopkins, Max Cookson, and Cole Butcher right now seem to have the best cars. Whoa, whoa, and a big problem on the front straightaway. Sorry, because I just caught it out of the corner of my eye. And Ben Rowe hard into the outside wall. I actually glanced down at that, and he was down on the inside of Jake Johnson trying to take 6th away, and they made contact, and Ben Rowe hard into the outside wall here. What a tough day it's been for Ben Rowe. Look here at our speed shot. You'll see the white car down the inside of the black machine of Johnson. It just looks like Rowe's car pushed up the racetrack, and that is a hard, hard hit on a short track. Ben Rowe almost went into the wall there at a 90-degree angle. Take a look again here out of turn 4. You see he's chasing the car up the racetrack. Man, that's a hard hit. Great look there from our speed shot at what happened. It looked right in that car as Ben Rowe came by. And he's climbing out now, and that's good to see. 4-time past national champion, 2-time Easter Bunny 150 winner. And this is not going to be a weekend to remember here at Hickory Motor Speedway for Ben Rowe. He and his family, his dad, they've had some great races here throughout the years, but not to be in 2023. We're a third of the way through, 50 laps completed. Several cars going to pit. Jake Johnson, Trevor Sanborn, Michael Scorzelli, Joey Dwyer, and all those cars on the lead lap. Wyatt Alexander area. And that's good to see, because that is a hard lick. I mean, just as hard as you'll see on a track this size. Good look at Wyatt Alexander's machine as he'll head back out. So track cleanup going to continue down in turns 1 and 2. Right now, Mike Hopkins, your leader, and that huge lead he had worked out to is completely gone. And DJ Shaw looks like he's going to be the beneficiary of this caution. He had just lost a lap, so he'll get the free pass and get to come back around. And remember, these caution laps don't count, so you see these cars, staying in the pits for an extended period of time, not losing laps here. Caution laps won't count in any of the races tonight. Coming up, following our Easter Bunny 150, it'll be time for the Act Mighty Minis to head out, and then we'll wind the night down with the American Canadian Tour late models. They put on a fantastic race here earlier today, and I think we're going to see just as equally good a race here for the nightcapper tonight here at Hickory Motor Speedway. And remember, following our coverage, if you are a subscriber to Racing America, flip over and see what's going on down at South Alabama Speedway. Baby Rattler may still be underway down there. I know they had a weather delay. And then tomorrow, the Rattler for the SRL National Series. 250 laps, $25,000 to win. That's tomorrow afternoon for subscribers here on RacingAmerica.tv. Right now, still working to get that car number 5 of Ben Rowe taken off the track. The cleanup continues over in turns 1 and 2 for Ben Rowe's accident. That'll give us a chance to take a break, and we'll be back with the resumption of the Easter Bunny 150 after this.
Hi, I'm Ben Rowe, and you're watching Racing America.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety, providing the most advanced driver safety products to NASCAR, IndyCar, sprint cars, and sports cars drivers. From grassroots to professional racers, HMS Motorsport has over 25 years' experience outfitting drivers with the best gear on the market. Equipped with first-hand product knowledge, our experts are ready to help you select the best harness belts, seats, head restraints, helmets, and racing attire for your type of racing. HMS is even the exclusive importer for Schroed belts, Schubert helmets, and Valero base layers. Visit one of our stores in Mooresville, North Carolina, or Danvers, Massachusetts, or check us online at hmsmotorsport.com, where you can learn the details of our products and order online. Safety starts here.
That's gotta be the wildest ride in the world.
We've not had anything like that before. The guys that run with me are coming to run, and we are all very thankful for that.
5-star bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market. Aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials. Tested tough for optimum performance. The highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, lighter, stronger, better. 5-star.
Oh my God.
And you can watch it all only on Racing America.
Welcome back to Hickory Motor Speedway for Racing America's coverage of the Easter Bunny 150. Still working caution here on lap 50 for Ben Rowe's accident here on the front straightaway. Got a lot of great action here coming up for you. The majority of the past Super Late Model races and American Canadian Tour races right here on Racing America. And we're proud to partner with Pass and Act once again. A couple of weeks we'll be at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park in Connecticut for the Icebreaker. $10,000 to win open modified show. Past Super Late Models will be there and more. And then about a month from now will be the Northeast Classic at the Magic Mile, New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Good luck there at Ben Rose Car going on the record now. Past Super Late Models, Act Late Models, Street Stocks, and the Act Mighty Minis will all be in action at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Both those races here on Racing America. Later this year, you'll also see the Midsummer Classic 250 from White Mountain Motorsports Park in New Hampshire. And, of course, the 50th annual, 50 years, 50th annual Oxford 250. It'll be back here on Racing America in late August. As we continue to work this caution, looks like Rose Car rolling now down in turns 1 and 2 with the wrecker. So Mike Hopkins, the leader. Again, DJ Shaw in that 60 car. He's the free pass car, so that's why he's in front of the leaders. He'll go around the pace car and get back on the lead lap. Garrett Hall in second, Max Cookson third, fourth Brandon Barker, and fifth Cole Butcher. Sixth is Ryan Coons, seventh is Kyle Reed. Back in eighth is Andy Shaw. Trevor Sanborn back in 8th. Kyle Reed and Joey Dwyer in 10th. And actually, Andy Shaw is in that correct position that I mentioned earlier because those cars back behind him pitted. So Andy Shaw stayed on track. He actually is the 8th place car right now. Again, those cars back behind him on the lead lap pitted. So DJ Shaw gets the free pass. He heads back out to the tail of the field. And that'll give us 13 cars on the lead lap here, a third of the way through the Easter Bunny 150. Mike Hopkins, Garrett Hall on the front row here for this restart. He had opened up almost a half-track lead over Garrett Hall. Well, that's all gone now. And now he's going to have two of the faster cars right behind him, Max Cookson and Cole Butcher, as the green flag is out. Field heads back down into turn number 1. Good start for Garrett Hall. Able to stay up there to the right rear quarter panel of Mike Hopkins as they go back into turn number 3. Hopkins, I think, will clear him out of turn 4. He will. That opens up the inside lane for the rookie, Max Cookson. He looks to the inside of Garrett Hall here through turns 1 and 2. Behind them, Cole Butcher now able to get around Brandon Barker. That'll move him up into 4th. Cookson now up into 2nd, and here comes Butcher. He's down the inside of Garrett Hall trying to take 3rd away. And now I think clearly the 3 fastest cars that we've had here today, if you include the first race and this race, are at the front of the field. A little bit further back, though, battle back for the 8th spot. Andy Shaw in the 50 trying to hold off Joey Dwyer. New driver in that Pettit Motorsports car number 7 for 2023. And the new driver for Richard Moody and Sons Racing there in the 44, Trevor Sanborn. All battling right now, trying to take 8th spot away from that 50 of Andy Shaw. If Dwyer can get down here in front of Sanborn, we go back now to the battle here for 4th. You see it over on the left side of the screen. Brandon Barker, he's got to run down on the inside of Garrett Hall. Good racing here as we close in on halfway from Hickory Motor Speedway. A little less than 20 laps away here in the Easter Bunny 150. Brandon Barker still trying to get around Garrett Hall here. Remember Barker down on the bottom, he had a hard time getting around Jake Johnson a little bit earlier. It seems like if he can't let that car free up coming out of the corner, if he's got somebody up to his outside, it's hard for Brandon Barker right now because the car wants to push up, and that's what we're seeing right now. All hanging tough, though. They continue to battle. It's tightening up front as well. As Hall able to clear Brandon Barker. He'll hold fourth. Jeremy Davis, Sean Knight racing here. Now, while all that racing was going on, Cole Butcher, he was able to get around Max Cookson. There you see Butcher in front of Cookson. And this right now is shaping up just like the first race did. Mike Hopkins was the leader. Cole Butcher made his way up to second. And then they made that contact on a restart that caused Mike Hopkins to spin. Watching this race for eighth now. Trevor Sanborn doing a good job in that 44 car, the backup machine, after that hard crash in the first race today. Got caught up there in the fluid from Joshua King's car number 21. Andy Shaw's done a good job in that 50 car. I believe this is his first time here at Hickory Motor Speedway. He's not been able to run as low as the other cars, but he has made that outside groove work today. There you see the difference between the lead cars. Mike Hopkins just going out the screen there. Cole Butcher and Max Cookson in second and third. And the leaders are closing back up on the tail end of the field once again as well. Here's that race for eighth as Trevor Sanborn continues to try to get around Andy Shaw. His car number 44, though, broke loose just a little bit, exited turn 4 last lap, and that's allowed Shaw again to pull out by about a car length over Sanborn. All right, the leaders are in that lap traffic, putting a lap on the 25 of Sean Knight. And there you see the advantage right now for Mike Hopkins over Cole Butcher. I'd put it at about 5 car lengths, maybe 6 car lengths here at Hickory. JP Yosiasa in the 24 car, he's going to lose a lap. Hopkins will work up to his outside. Track may be going through a change, as you'll see going down into turn number 1, that end of the racetrack now in shade. Well, I'd say about a quarter of the racetrack right now. Rest of the track under sunlight, albeit still very cool temperatures and windy here today. 8th, 9th, and 10th, Jake Johnson has joined this battle. In the black car number 15, he'll look down on the inside of Trevor Sanborn. And he makes relative easy work there on Sanborn to take Knight. Mike Hopkins still with some lap traffic there in front of him. The 18 of Michael Scorzelli. Hopkins able to work around him. We'll see Mike Hopkins coming up a little bit later on when the American Canadian Tour's late models head back out for their 125 lapper. You see the advantage there over Cole Butcher. Just past halfway, here's the battle for fourth between Garrett Hall and Brandon Barker. Just a note there about the leaders. Remember, Mike Hopkins had worked out to about a 4-second lead and staying pretty consistently right now, about just under a second in front of Cole Butcher. Brandon Barker trying everything he can do to figure out a way to get by Garrett Hall. Pretty evenly matched cars. All right, closing in here on JP Yosiasa. Let's see which way everybody goes here, as Barker's got a run here down the inside of Garrett Hall. A lot of it's going to depend on where Yosiasa goes. He and Garrett Hall already got together earlier today, right there, right actually there, where Yosiasa almost got up into Garrett Hall again. That was almost a mirror image of what happened earlier, as Hall was putting a lap on JP Yosiasa, and they went down into turn one. Yosiasa's car not able to turn, and ended up causing Garrett Hall to spin. Luckily not so this time, but Hall again feeling a challenge here from Brandon Barker. It's the best run Barker's had so far on Hall, and he's able to clear Garrett Hall by the time they got to turn 3. Now having to move around the lap machine of Jeremy Davis. There's the leader, Mike Hopkins, once again, maintaining about the same advantage over Cole Butcher. Butcher may be closing in here just a little bit. Now Hopkins going to put DJ Shaw back a lap down again. Remember, he got the free pass in that 60 car during the last caution, but he'll go a lap down once again. And that advantage that we had talked about for Hopkins, that was nearly a second, now down to about half a second, as Butcher had to work around DJ Shaw there. Might have lost a little bit of ground as he did that. Race here back for 10th. Joey Dwyer trying to get that 7 car up and by Andy Shaw. Both Jake Johnson and Trevor Sanborn able to move around Andy Shaw. And Joey Dwyer trying to do the same. Leaders right now putting a lap on the 96 of Wyatt Alexander. And Cole Butcher right now fastest car on the racetrack in that car, number 53. See, he has closed that gap down to about a car length and a half between he and Mike Hopkins. Got two pretty aggressive drivers here in Mike Hopkins and Cole Butcher. Cole Butcher in recent years has really established himself in that 53 car. Whoa, as Hopkins just about lost it out of turn number 4. And that's going to allow Cole Butcher to work down on the inside. That 15 got totally sideways. He's going to battle hard here. He does not want to let Cole Butcher by. May not have any choice. Butcher again hooking that concrete apron down in turns 1 and 2, which he's been able to do all day. He takes the lead here, coming around with 54 laps to go. Hopkins will fall back into second. And that all happened when Mike Hopkins got really, really loose at the exit of turn number 4 out of nowhere. And his tires may be going away just a little bit as the leaders get back into lap traffic here. He'll put another lap here on J.P. Yosiasa. Last car on the lead lap is Joey Dwyer, and he's at 11th. He's right in front of the leaders. Hopkins doing everything he can do to stay up here with Cole Butcher. And the longer we go, it looks like Cole Butcher's car, just as it did in race 1, gets better and better. And there you see that 11th place car, Joey Dwyer. Red car number 7. Cole Butcher looks down his inside, trying to put him a lap down. 2/3 of the way through the Easter Bunny 150 here. 50 laps to go. A couple of years ago, Derek Griffith pulled off the sweep. He got the win on Friday and Saturday night here. Could Cole Butcher do the same and do it all in the same day? He looks to have a really good shot now. Looks down the inside of Andy Shaw. Shaw went way at the racetrack to get out of the leader's way. Keep an eye on that 39. Whoa, and contact between Mike Hopkins and Joey Dwyer. As Hopkins had not quite cleared Dwyer, and we saw the tire smoke, but they made contact at the end of the front straightaway. We were talking about Max Cookson in this 39 car. Now, he had dropped back a little bit from that battle for the lead. You wonder if he's held something back to maybe challenge Cole Butcher at the end of this thing. He's going to take second from Hopkins. And now he's going to want to try and make quick work of this 50 of Andy Shaw. And looks like Cookson able to clear Shaw. And Hopkins' car, that car just dropping back just a little bit, just not quite as good now in comparison to the 53 and the 39 as it was earlier. There's Cole Butcher. Just put a lap on the 18 of Michael Scorzelli. 9 cars on the lead lap. Trevor Sanborn right now, the last car on the lead lap. And he's actually been able to pull away a little bit through all this lap traffic from Cole Butcher. Butcher closing up on some more of that lap traffic. Top 3 really way out in front of Brandon Barker, who's in 4th. He's not even close to being able to get up here and challenge these leaders, at least for now. Coming around with 40 laps to go. And the leaders, if we stay under green, they're going to stay in a pretty consistent conveyor belt of lap traffic here. Now that last lap, Max Cookson in the 39, a couple of tenths quicker than Cole Butcher. Here's Mike Hopkins back in 3rd. Let's see as they come by this time. And again, not much, but Max Cookson in the 39, just a little bit quicker than Cole Butcher. It's not as close as they are, though. It's not going to take much time for Cookson, if he can continue to better Butcher, to get up there and challenge him. And again, not by much, but just a little bit. Max Cookson was quicker that last lap. There you see the advantage for Cole Butcher over Cookson. About 4 car lengths. And when we had to break a little bit earlier today, I went down and talked to Max Cookson, and he said he just loves this racetrack. Never raced here, never really raced anywhere in a late model anyway outside of Oxford Plains. When he goes to Thompson in New Hampshire and tracks like that, it'll be the first time for him to experience any of those racetracks. But he is really taken to Hickory Motor Speedway. And now for both of these leaders, it's going to be a matter of catching this traffic in the right spots, so where they don't get held up or don't have to put their cars in a position they don't want to. There's the final car on the lead lap. That's the 44 Trevor Sanborn. Not going to get in Butcher's way. Sanborn hanging tough, though. He knows if the caution comes out, he'll get the free pass. Be right back in the mix. There you see some of the crew guys hard at work. My kind of work. All right, this time by 29 laps to go for Cole Butcher. Got the lap car, Trevor Sanborn, between he and Max Cookson, at least for now. Cookson trying to clear him. Kyle Reed in that car number 42, after all the bad luck he had in race one, had a fairly clean and quiet race number 2. He rides in 7th. Trying to get up there and take a spot away from the defending pass champion, Ryan Kuhn, in that car number 72. Cars all over this Hickory Motor Speedway as we close in on 25 laps to go. Now Butcher has been able to open up that advantage the last few laps over Max Cookson. And we were talking about it a little bit earlier and didn't get a chance to finish that thought, but Cole Butcher has really established himself as a big-time racer. Won several championships in the Maritime Pro Stocks up in Canada. Won the pole a few years ago for the All-American 400. Won the Oxford 250 last year. On the verge of maybe an Easter Bunny 150 win here today. And always fast in the big races at Winchester and Snowball Derby. I think he had a top 5 finish at the Redbud last year at Anderson. There you see 4th, 5th, Brandon Barker and the 94 Garrett Hall. Again, they're well behind the leaders. And they're going to need some help. They want to get up and be in the mix here in these final laps. Ryan Kuhn trying to work through this lap traffic here and hold off Kyle Reed in the 42 car. Now just 19 laps to go as Cole Butcher works across the stripe. There he is. And you notice those cars we were watching not too far in front of the leader right now. But still a lot of lap traffic for Cole Butcher. If we don't have a caution, he is going to be in some pretty heavy lap traffic the rest of this race. Right now, a little over half straightaway advantage over Max Cookson. But he has got to get through this lap traffic. Works around Yossi Asa. You see this track almost completely in shade now. Couple of cars in front of the leaders here. Side by side, Jake Johnson and DJ Shaw. Just really have never seen Shaw struggle here at Hickory the way he has this weekend. Again, in this pass car, he's very good with the American Canadian Tour late model, but this pass car, number 60, has just not had it this weekend. Trying not to go another lap down. And that caused Cole Butcher to have to turn from the top down to the bottom. And that's also allowed Max Cookson. Look at the gap. How much? Whoa! And DJ Shaw into the back of Cole Butcher. And right now, not happy with Butcher about something. Or maybe not happy about something that happened a ways back. But he definitely let Cole Butcher know that he was there. And there you see Max Cookson and how much ground he's been able to close in on Cole Butcher as Butcher dealt with DJ Shaw. 10 laps to go. Back down into turn number 1. Next car the leaders will encounter will be the 15 of Jake Johnson. And Cookson is going to have to take advantage of this lap traffic again like he did just a few laps ago. And there's going to be a lot of it here for Cole Butcher to work through in these final laps. All right, 6 laps to go. Cole Butcher back in behind Jake Johnson here. There you see the advantage he has got over Max Cookson. Joey Dwyer in there in front of the leader too. Butcher able to get around Jake Johnson pretty easy there. Didn't really lose any ground Cookson. Now he's up to Joey Dwyer. See if he can get by Dwyer. Dwyer hanging right there on that right rear. He was not able to let the car free up quite as much as he would have liked to. But again, Cookson not able to make up a lot of ground there. And now just 3 laps to go as Butcher works out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. One more lap car right in front of the leader. That's the 50 of Andy Shaw. But Cole Butcher's just got to hang on here for another lap and a half. And he's actually stretched it out once again over Max Cookson. White flag in the air. Last lap here at Hickory Motor Speedway as Cole Butcher looks to sweep the weekend. Butcher going to work down through turns 3 and 4. What a Saturday it's been at Hickory, North Carolina for Cole Butcher. Checkered flag is out. He sweeps the Easter Bunny 150 weekend. He'll take the win. Second time today. Max Cookson going to finish back in second. Mike Hopkins in third. Fourth to Brandon Barker. And rounding out the top 5 will be the 94 of Garrett Hall.